Hey guys, it's Penguin here and welcome back to another gold making video. In this video, I'm going to be highlighting a handful of add-ons which I deem super useful for gold making. However, these are not generally the ones that we, normally talk about. So for example, as everybody knows, I feel like Gathermate 2 is very popular for gold making. We have, of course, TSM, all of these big add-ons that people always recommend for gold making, and I just wanted to highlight some that are not strictly for gold making, however, they can make your life a ton easier, and just things that are not talked about, and also some tips. So I will say once again, if you are a more experienced goblin, then there is a very big chance that you have all of these add-ons already. However, if you're somebody getting into gold making, or you're a bit newer to the scene, hopefully there's at least one on this list that you do not have that can be deemed useful to you. Now, of course, if you guys are looking for like a list of all the add-ons that I use, on my main spreadsheet in the description, there is a tab which shows all of the add-ons I currently have, and I've also made a video highlighting that as well. So if you'd rather have it in like a list format, it's on the spreadsheet, but if you'd rather have it in a like documentary, video format, feel free to check that out on my channel. Without further ado though, we are going to get into these add-ons. However, of course, I do want to bring up a few things. A few of these add-ons do require TSM because they use TSM pricing. So if you guys do not have TSM, I highly recommend having it. And of course, if you don't use TSM, then you will just have to skip on some of these add-ons, or you won't be able to use their specific features. But that is basically it, and then I do want to highlight some other tips as well. If you guys are currently using Faster Loot or have used it in the past, that is an add-on that does what it says. It increases your looting time. And if you guys do use that, and you guys also use TSM Destroy, make sure you disable it if you use TSM Destroy. If you guys notice that, the destroying menu is getting stuck, that is due to Faster Loot or any other add-on that does the same thing as Faster Loot. I believe LVY has their own version, which you will have to disable. And of course, if there's any other sort of add-on that does that, you will have to disable it as well. So I guess this is kind of like an anti-add-on tip. Of course, you can keep the add-on on your farming tunes, but if you guys do any prospecting, milling, disenchanting, any of that, you will want to toggle off Faster Loot for at least that time being. But without further ado, we are going to get into the first on this list. Alright, so for the first add-on that I have, now all of these, the first three add-ons will kind of be very similar as they all deal with pets. So if you guys are not a pet seller, then some of these will not be useful to you. However, if you guys are interested in pets, there's a big chance that some of these add-ons might actually make your life a ton easier and might get you interested in pets. So without further ado, the first add-on we have is Rematch. And specifically, once you install Rematch, there is a sub add-on which you can get, which is the Rematch TSM values. So those two together will allow you, if you go into your pet journal and you have this little Rematch selected, it will, go into this window, and now you will have prices on your battle pets. So this is one of the add-ons that uses TSM pricing. So if you don't have TSM, you may not have this feature. But as you guys can see, as we just scroll through, these are the current prices on my server for these pets. So it's great to see, like, okay, this pet is selling for 140k on my server right now. That is awesome. I should cage it, etc. So it just kind of gives you a visual view, and it can be really awesome when trying to sort through pets. Now, the next add-on that we're going to be talking about is called Pet Battle Cage Match. Now, this is an awesome add-on, and it can save you plenty of time, and I use this daily, and it's super awesome. So what you can do with this is, if you are using Rematch, you will have to uncheck it in order to get this little button right here, and as you can see, this button is called Cage Pets. So in order to get to the options, in order to adjust this, you will want to hit Shift and click on it, and this little menu will come up, and basically you just, go through and toggle what you want. So most of this are the default settings. However, the more important ones we want to get down is right here. So from the basics, you can choose how many pets you want to cage. I always sell one of each pet. I don't sell duplicates. So we have that set to 1. I don't care what level it is, so minimum level 1, maximum 25. And I can choose quality, etc., etc. Then of course you can skip pets that have been caged, skip pets that current character has auctions for, and then you get into these sources. Now as you can see, these 3 do require TSM yet again. So there are 2 things you can do. So the first setting you can do is caging using a specific price. So let's say you want to only sell pets that sell for over 5,000 gold. Type that in right there, and then it's set. And it's really cool because a lot of these settings can be confusing. So they added this little caging rules right here. So based on what we put, caging up to 1 pet between levels 1 to 25, valued over 5,000 gold that I have at least 1 or more of. And then of course you have the skipping and the quality. Now what I specifically use is the custom TSM source, and because my minimum value on my auction house for selling these pets are 90% DB region market average, I put that in as my custom TSM source. So DB market has to be greater than the 90% to have it caged. So you can set those parameters to whatever you want. Then you can come here and then just click on the button. It will automatically highlight all of the ones that it deems as meeting all of these rules, and then hit start caging. Then there we go, it will simply cage all these pets for you. Now, of course, some people, set up macros to do this for you. Some people, just actually go in and cage them one at a time. However, this add-on saves you a ton of time, especially if you have, 50 to 100 pets. This can be very, very useful. Also, you don't have to worry about values because you set that parameter once and then you're good to go on all your servers. But that is our second add-on, and we're going to be moving on to pet add-on number 3. And the final pet add-on that we're going to be talking about is Pet Tracker. Now, the reason why I like Pet Tracker is because it shows you the source of each pet. So, for example, as you see, we highlight this over and it doesn't really tell us any information. However, if we enable the add-on, there we go, and we hover over, as you can see, it now tells us a source. Now, of course, Bananas is a TCG pet, which was added on the store, so this one still does say TCG, but if we can continue, as you can see, this is from the Battle Zone, this is from Zuldazar, you buy this in Ice Crown, this is from a quest, etc., etc. This requires reputation, and so this just gives you a good visual. Let's say you are browsing the auction house in order to deem what pets you should buy. This will give you a little bit of an idea on how hard they are able to obtain and kind of give you an idea of exactly where the pet comes from. So, if a pet is just a vendor pet that requires no reputation or friendly reputation or something like that, you might stay away from it since it's an easy vendor pet to obtain compared to something that is a rare drop. So I really like this add-on. It tells you where these come from, and also it's just a learning experience. Now I know the Extinguished Eye comes from, the faction Nightfallen, and it's from Legion. So it's kind of just cool. You will learn pets as you go on, and that is the end of our pet add-ons, and we're going to go back to kind of the more standard gold making stuff. Alright, so for our fourth add-on, I want to talk about Quartz. Now, Quartz is actually a casting bar add-on, and primarily, it's meant for raiders, mythic plus players, stuff like that. However, it's actually super awesome for crafting. So as you guys can see, if I simply just do a task, it's this bar right here. It shows the timer, which is super awesome. Let's say if you're casting a spell or something, it shows you the timer of how long it's going to take, and it's just a very nice casting bar. But the great thing about this is that since it shows you the time it takes to complete that cast, it works as a crafting timer. So traditionally, if you went into, let's say, to craft, bags or something, you would just see a green bar going across the screen that says shrouded cloth bag, and you kind of just had to guess how long it would take. However, with this add-on, let's say if we hit craft all, it now gives you an actual timer. So in order to craft 20 bags, it's going to take 50 seconds. So this is super awesome if you do very big batches of, let's say, you're crafting inks or crafting enchanted lightless silk, something like that. We can demo that right now. If we just grab some lightless silk, there we go. And we go in here and act like we're gonna craft 575. Now we know this is going to take 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Now, of course, you could, hit Q all and TSM will tell you that as well, but not everybody uses the crafting queue for simple crafts like this. And so it's just very nice to see it displayed right here. So this is why I primarily use quartz, and we're going to be moving on to the next one. Now, the next add-on that we're going to be talking about is Bagnon, but not just the base Bagnon add-on. Now, what I mean by this is, as everybody knows, the bag add-on that most people use is either Addy Bags or Bagnon, but I've had a lot of people ask me how you can see, if it's a BOE or the item level of an item in my bags. Now that is two different sub add-ons, which one is called Bagnon item level and the other one is called Bagnon BOE. So they're very, simple, like the name describes them themselves, but a lot of people don't know these exist, and on my live streams I get a lot of questions about this. So just to bring awareness to that, if you do use Bagnon, you have those two options. I assume something with Addy Bags or all the other bags have the same version if it's not built into them by default. Also, another side note, if you guys use Scrap, which many people know what Scrap is, it is a vendor junk item add-on, kind of like Peddler if people are familiar. And there's also a sub add-on called Bagnon Scrap, which allows you to see the coins. So if I were to mark, lightless silk as scrap, as you can see, that icon shows up. Now, of course, if you guys don't use a bag add-on, then that gold symbol always shows up. But if you are somebody who doesn't use that, it doesn't always show. So that's just a tip for y'all, and we're moving on to the next one. Now, the next add-on I have is a vendor add-on, and it's super simple, and it's literally called Buy 'em All, and it does what it says. If you shift-click an item, now you basically can choose how much you want to purchase at once. So, because I want to actually purchase something useful, we're going to go with the number thread, and so I can type a random number if I want to. I can do it by stack. If we do that, as you guys can see, I currently have only 10 in my inventory. So if I hit stack, it'll make it an even stack. If I hit it again, it'll add an extra 200. Or let's say I want to fill my entire bags, I can hit max, and there we go. So this is super great. Now, of course, the TSM menu can do this as well. However, I personally do not like that TSM vendor menu. So if you guys are like me, I highly recommend this simple add-on. It also gives you the price, which is super awesome as well. Now, another simple add-on, which I guess technically isn't strictly for gold making, but it's very useful, is an add-on called Sushi Sort. And what this does is it basically sorts your guild bank. So as you guys know, if you guys use a bag add-on, like we talked about before, you are able to clean up your normal bank, but the guild bank doesn't always have that. Now, of course, if you guys do use Bagnon guild bank, then you can do that, but not everybody uses Bagnon or that guild bank function. So if you guys don't and you use the default guild bank, then this adds a cleanup bank right there. And so what this does is, let's say, I know this is really random, but let's say I want to sort this. I just click that button and it'll automatically start sorting it by item. So Of course, since it is the default guild bank, it's not instant, it's a little bit slow, but right now it's sorting and putting all the items together. So it's kind of cool, it kind of, just runs by yourself. So if you guys are somebody who uses default and does not want to use Bagnon Guild Bank or any of those other Bagnon features, or just any other bag sorting feature, then this is a great one to have. I personally like the simplicity of this, and yeah, it's just very, very simple. And yeah, guys, that is basically it. Now, an honorable mention that I do want to talk about is a add-on called friend groups. Now, if you guys are a huge farmer, I feel like a lot of farmers end up having a lot of friends because they either add them from previous farms or from people's discords in order to, link up. So if you are somebody like that and you want to sort your friends list, let's say you have a group of like guild mates as friends, and then you have like the random people you've met from Discord, or you have, you want to sort by streamer or by streamer, something like that, you're able to create groups of your friends and sort them so you can minimize them, mess with them, stuff like that. So if you guys do have a big friends list, this doesn't appeal to everybody, but that's something you can use. But that was a few add-ons that hopefully one of these will be very good for you. Now this video is kind of long because I gave a pretty long explanation on some of them, but hopefully this does make sense to the people who were interested. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Also, feel free to join the Discord down below if you want to be a part of our community. That's where we hang out, and that's where you'll receive announcements. But thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, have a good day.